Hello, Monday Night Combat fans.
What is up, YouTube? It is Galaxy here, and I am bringing you another Super Monday Night Combat commentary. This time we were playing Super Crossfire with Karl, a Striker Pro. Now, this game took place after the update, which added the Turbo Cross game type to the mix. But, and I mean, I really like the new Turbo Cross game type because it makes Super Monday Night Combat feel like a sequel to Monday Night Combat rather than the more MOBA emphasized, yeah, I guess, the more MOBA emphasized game that it was. It is more shooter, and you can build turrets, and you can kill faster, and it's just a lot better. And now, the reason I'm playing Super Crossfire, even though obviously I could be playing Turbo Crossfire, is not of my own accord. Just one thing that happens, which is a glitch, which I think might have been patched. That's what Uber says, but I don't know if it's true or not. Is that it'll put you in the wrong game type sometimes. So if you select Super Crossfire, sometimes you get Turbo. You select Turbo, sometimes you get Super. And so I unfortunately ended up getting Super Crossfire here, but this was still a pretty awesome game, actually. I went 12 kills, 0 deaths, 14 assists, and a pretty high amount of bot kills. I was only second to the person who was playing Leo in the game, so, pretty good. And right there, grapple kill on that assassin. I get a lot of kills off that assassin this game. She was really stupid, just blindly running at me a lot of the times, and it was just easy grapple kills. So, anyway, this game, you're going to see me killing like a lot of bots and stuff like you should with any other pro. And Karl's, he's a pretty good pro. I really like the Striker class in this game. All the Striker pros I really enjoy. So Karl, Megabeth, the Assault, and I also really like Combat Girl, but that's kind of really the exception to the rule. For the most part, the Strikers are where my niche is. So anyway, right now I am spamming my secondary weapon, the Bouncing Buddies, at these people, and they were so stupid. They just were not moving, and I just clean up right there. And this Gunner, again, he's just not moving. And my Junior is kind of just out of his range, which is unfortunate, but you know what you're gonna do. So anyway, I'm spamming the Bouncing Buddies, which is a really good weapon. It's really what I tend to use the most with Karl. I'll, generally speaking, just hold down left mouse button with this out, and just destroy a lot of bots, do a lot of damage against groups of pros. And if I'm in more of a one-on-one engagement or like a circumstance where I'm trying to kill a pro and that pro's trying to kill me, like right there, sort of, I'll tend to switch to the primary weapon, the Handler, because it does a lot more damage. And here, getting a grapple kill on this assassin again. Get out of here. I think I get like 4 of those or something this game. God, it's pretty awesome. And here, switching to the Bouncing Buddies to wipe these guys out. The Bouncing Buddies is really interesting. They do a lot of damage, but unlike the Assault's grenade launcher, these are timed explosives. So you fire them out, they won't shoot right away. It'll take a little bit. And right here, I got really lucky, actually. I just turned around and grappled them off the cliff. That's great. Anyway, the Bouncing Buddies are timed, so you shoot them, and they'll, bounce around for a little bit, and then they'll explode. Rather than the Assault's grenade launcher, which will explode right on contact. And here I'm debating whether or not to upgrade my Junior or the defensive ability. However, I ultimately just go for Junior because I don't seem to be getting hit a lot, and so the sooner I can kill, the better. So, right here, again, this idiot, I just used my prop hop really quick just to stun him and then go in for the kill, though the turret ends up stealing my kill, but you know what you're gonna do. And this assassin, clearly not a Super MNC player, your cloak isn't invisible. And I thought I ringed her out right here, and so I'm just sitting here, but then I realized I didn't get the plus points, so she comes right back up, and I was going to go in for the grapple, and the turret took my kill. So at this point in the game, again, it's pretty simple. I'm just spamming Bouncing Buddies, grappling when I can. And I hear the announcer talking about the Annihilator, and so I'm kind of staying close by because you want to get the Annihilator ASAP. It is extremely important, especially if you have the cash to get it. Otherwise, even if you don't have the cash to get it, I highly recommend defending it. You know, you don't need to be like sitting on it. That'll be a bit too obvious. But you want to stay close enough to where if some enemy is attacking it, you'll be able to quickly swoop in and kill them. Because it does take some time in this game to call in the Annihilator, which leaves the enemies completely vulnerable during that animation. So, if you're standing like right in the center, obviously, excuse me, if you're standing like obviously in the center camping the Annihilator, then the enemies are going to be bound to, you know, see you and kill you. But if not, then they're going to go bum rush for the Annihilator, trying to get it as soon as possible. They'll get in the animation where they're calling it in, and then you can just go in for the kill. Right here, this assassin juiced, and another grapple kill. Unbelievable. God, that assassin was like the main source of my points this game. God, it's great. So right here, they are really pushing up, so I'm kind of just holding back, spamming my bouncing buddies and my junior when I can, trying to do as much damage as possible, mostly to the bots. I could have killed that support right there, but then I would have, you know, then the bots might have pushed up and destroyed our turret, which was very weak, and I just wasn't going to risk that, because at this point in the game, I realized that this was Super Crossfire, and I wouldn't just be able to rebuild that turret. So, you know, turrets and bots come first, pro second. I guess I'll go over Karl's 3 skills for a bit. He has the short circuit as his ship skill, which is a stun maneuver. Well, not a maneuver, it's just a little stun ball that you fire out, stuns enemies. Really haven't found that much use for it. Really not a big fan. It's something just seems off about it. Like it'll miss too often. It doesn't have enough range. I just really don't like it. It's not really my thing. And then the other skill, the Q skill, is the prop hop, which is a vertical travel distance move. Very useful for jungling and for kind of just dazing enemies to get out, but not quite as good for escaping when you're low on health as other skills like Megabeth's rocket skates would be. But so 2 of his 3 skills, not a big fan of, but the 3rd skill, Junior, is absolutely amazing. Basically, he'll throw out this mini robot, which will kind of stay in one spot, but then as soon as something gets in its range, it will fly towards it, lock on, and deal massive damage. It's very, very useful. One junior being tossed out can pretty much scare a pro away, and here's that assassin again, grappled out of there. A single junior that's thrown can really scare a pro away because it does so much damage that they'll retreat, and then it's just basically your turn. And right here, actually, that was the perfect example of how to use a junior. I was going to go in for the grapple against that assassin, but then I realized that the gunner had a line of sight on me, so I didn't want to be caught in that animation. So all I needed to do was throw out that one junior, and all was good. And again, I could have killed that support, but I decided against it because I didn't want to risk getting trapped by the airstrike and the gunner and what have you. God, I love Junior. So, I mean, having 3 skills, well, 2 skills, which really aren't that good, you would think that would make Karl a bad character, but it actually works in his advantage, because you really only need to focus on upgrading 3 of your skills to level 4. Prop hop, I would recommend getting to level 2. I always buy it right at the start of the game, just for the added benefit, just to make it so that it's easier to jungle, and it's just a useful skill to have at level 2, though I really wouldn't upgrade it any higher unless you have, you know, the extra level up skill points, whatever they call it in this game, at the end. So I'll always go for prop hop 2, and then I'll focus on damage, and then I'll clean up with health at the end, because, you know, I play more passively in these games, as you might have noticed. I don't really like dying in, you know, the original Monday Night Combat, and that's carried over to Super Monday Night Combat as well. In the original MNC, I would always place, well, not always, but I would place my kill streak pretty much before everything else, because that's how you get the big money, you know, the Uber streaks and hot streaks and all that good stuff. So, you know, it's good, I guess it's like a good habit, I suppose, to carry over into this game, because in this game it's even more important, what with the longer respawn timer and everything. Even in Turbo Cross, which I do plan on getting some gameplay of, this was supposed to be a Turbo Cross gameplay, but like I said, it ended up picking Super Crossfire instead for God knows what reason. Yeah, I'm gonna get Turbo Cross gameplay soon because I like it much better, and I'm, you know, pretty good at it. I'm decent at Super MNC, but you know, I think I'm much better at Turbo Cross than I am at Super Crossfire, just because in the original Monday Night Combat, I loved that game so much. It's only second to Call of Duty 4 and my favorite online game, like, ever. And it's like a $15 downloadable title with like 3 maps. I played it on Xbox, not on PC, which is why I didn't have any gameplay of it on my channel, because I don't have a capture card. Didn't play it on PC. I just did not like it on PC. It was just, I mean, the mouse and keyboard, like, it changed the whole dynamic of the game. It was like you killed much faster, if that makes any sense, just because everyone was so much more accurate. Not to mention a lot of those, like, really minute techniques that I suppose a lot of people wouldn't realize, but I really caught on that they got rid of. Things like the tank and the gunner constant jet jump, the assault charge glide, you know, things like that were taken out. It's something like when the jump from Halo 2 to Halo 3, like the really hardcore people, like, were upset about the lack of, you know, BR reload cancel, but like most people didn't notice it. It was one of those things. So anyway, only 2 minutes left in this game, and I have Juice right now. I'm going to use Juice to get rid of these turrets, because that's how I think that Juice is most useful in this game, for getting rid of, you know, big priority targets, but not really pros. Just because, you know, you don't want to get too cocky with Juice, because you don't get the added armor buff or anything. It's so, like, every time I try to kill pros with Juice, it always backfires and I usually end up dying, so I kind of just use Juice a lot more passively, just do a ton of damage. And right there, that was an example again of my passiveness. That gunner was literally one handler shot away from death, but I just didn't want to take that kind of risk and possibly, you know, die, considering the streak I was on. You know, this is I think this is like the highest bot streak that you can get, and also pretty high kill streak. So, took care of the other turret. Jackbot's out there, Moneyball. This is one of those points where it's just a matter of time for you until you win. And so we kind of just, you know, just clean out. It's really not much more to say. This game's over. It's been a pretty long game, but actually pretty short by Super Crossfire standards. 1 part, not 3, so, you know, I'm just gonna go let this gameplay run to completion. This is embarrassing. I had no idea what that did, so I kind of just wanted to see. Never played on this map before. And anyway, so I'm just gonna go let this game run to completion at this point. There's only 30 seconds left, so I hope you all enjoyed it. Expect more Super Monday Night Combat gameplay for the Turbo Cross game mode coming up. And also expect some more serious Sam. I've got parts left on my hard drive, but haven't bothered to upload them yet. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this, and Galaxy out.
Good night, combat fans. See you next week.